ladies, it's Jasmine Williams, and I am your real estate coach and strategist. And today we're going to talk all about my story, right? So I have struggled like a lot of us have gone through, and I think that it's really important to share my story because a lot of people think that you just kind of land here in perfection land and don't really go over the steps that it took to get there. Some of the hardships, some of life's trials that it takes to actually get to the point where you're able to feel like you're a success. Believe me, this is no damsel in distress. This I didn't get the Prince Charming, not yet, but I definitely have had enough experience in life to be able to help as many women as I can because I know that I'm not the only one. During the time, I did think that I was the only one, so that's a time for another story. But I for sure want to be able to help you all. So before we proceed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I drop a video on YouTube. And I always just drop a bunch of tips and tricks and really nice life hacks so that you all can go ahead and get started. So this is the house that I grew up in. It's situated in the Logan section of Philadelphia. I was raised by my mother and aunt who provided the best life possible for me. They exposed me to the arts, the best schools, gifted programs, and house tours on the weekends where we went to see how rich people live. I know that might sound crazy, but it really inspired me to instill in myself and in my children that you can get whatever you want. So it showed me something to aspire to. And at the time, I didn't realize it, but it really was life changing for me because it's something that I wanted to go ahead and set a goal for. So we lived in a duplex where my mother and my aunt each had their own apartment. My mother was able to afford her mortgage payment after she and my dad separated because of her tenant slash sister who supplemented their payment. Even after my mother remarried and we moved to Minnesota, she held onto the property that she still owns today, and it cash flows income for her every single month. Fast forward to when I graduated high school and moved back from the Midwest to Philadelphia. I went back to live in my childhood home while attending Drexel University. This was awesome because when you think about it, I didn't have to worry about living on campus and paying for additional costs to live on campus because my mom had an investment property that I was able to live in and take advantage of and not have to pay any rent. In fact, I lived there for a while and I actually was able to purchase my first home moving from my mom's property into my home and not having to worry about saving money while renting out a place. So then I had a baby, right? So unfortunately, her father was killed not long after she was born, but that was for sure life altering for the both of us. I then was pregnant with my second child. I lost my job for being on maternity leave. So basically, I had to stay out of work for a year because my son needed me to stay home. My daughter was in, I believe, kindergarten at the time. And so that was even more of a stressor because she was dyslexic and we had to get some special needs adjust for her just because she needed the extra help. Those were probably some of the toughest years of my life, trying to navigate through what needed to happen for my children, figuring out financially what needed to happen for our home, and then trying to figure out what I'm going to do for money. Throughout the struggle and hard work, I was able to buy my first home, a duplex that I fixed up on my own. To keep the lights on and the mortgage paid, I rented the first floor of that duplex to my cousin. So it worked out, but it was still a struggle, right? So even with my home, my credit score plummeted. I had zero savings, a negative bank account, and since I had no idea how to manage finances, it was a struggle all over again. All I had at that time was God and my children. But in 2010, I started selling real estate. And even though I had almost no clients, no money or business sense, I still managed to help women purchase their first home. In fact, through the years, hundreds of women have bought or sold their property with me, and it was an absolute pleasure. And a godsend that women trusted me to help them on this journey. So, How did I include my family in this financial journey? I started from a very young age to teach my children about financial literacy. As I learned, they learned. I bought my first investment property in West Philly, got my general contractor's license to learn construction, and turned that property into a profitable machine that created financial stability for us. Investing in real estate and creating ways to work smarter and not harder created so many possibilities for my children that they since learned how to do it themselves. In 2021, I bought my daughter her first rental property, which is now a midterm rental. It pays for college for her to further her education, and my children really witnessed me growing my business from a ground zero to increasing our personal net worth to over $2 million. It's all about one thing, which is taking consistent and intentional actions towards our goal every single day. A lot of us feel like we can't level up and we feel stuck. While I don't feel like owning a business is for everyone, I absolutely know that investing is. So in 2017, I decided to help women create vision for their life, hosting a vision board party. I didn't think anyone would come, but 54 women did. We went over how to improve finances, how to shift mindset, and how to become owners. And then it clicked. Women need another woman to guide them and show them on how she made it out. So, some of the ways that I transformed my stagnant lifestyle into one with abundance is changing who I hung out with and stop thinking that there was no way out. I was never ashamed to be a beginner, and since I couldn't afford to register for events, I volunteered at a lot of them. One event was with E.T., the hip hop preacher, and that was when my life shifted. I made it my life mission and purpose to empower women to make decisions for their families, and in a lot of cases that they didn't think was possible. But I got you, ladies. If you've reached the end of this video, I thank you. There are so many women that I want to help and be able to empower just by telling my story. A lot of people don't feel comfortable doing that because there's just so many things and we're just trying to hide from our past. But I believe that if you embrace what has happened to you and use it to power you to move forward, you will be a better woman. So don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I promise you this journey is going to be amazing. It's going to be fun and it's going to empower you to make some financial decisions that really help you stabilize your life. Talk to you all soon.